Don't laugh.
No.
Don't laugh at them. Y4, though, going into the support position on the Bard. CLX, I'm guessing, will go to the mid lane. Mole will be in the would-be AD carry position, and then Y4 as the Bard.
If Maple gets locked down, he's dead no matter what. Think about the CC chain that comes through from V5. Think about how the combination of Bard, Syndra, and LeBlanc works.
Okay, so obviously we've got an interesting composition coming out here for V5, but I do want to talk about the strengths as they go for some level 1 shenanigans here. You have to bear in mind that this composition has incredibly good skirmishing. Around these early objectives, this team can look incredibly strong. Will we see that? It remains to be seen. Last game, they had some good strength around level 6 power spikes. We didn't really see them abuse it. We saw them getting caught out instead. The question will be, can they make something of this? Moldo going to be on the Syndra. And it's bot. CLX once again in the mid lane.
Yep. So Mole going to be moving back on down, but the difference is Y4's the support suddenly. So we've just shifted gears once again. Y4 staying on Bard. This is his debut in the support if you don't want to count a fasting lane. And this is just the same with V5. It's just different lanes. Like Ali is the most stable person this time around.
Y4 just rolling around the map. I wasn't sure if he was going to try to face check that, honestly, but maybe looking for a brush cheese.
Oh no.
Y4, why are you there? Duan just going to step on forwards. Auto attack after auto attack coming out from Light. Duan just waiting for the Shield of Daybreak to come off a cooldown. And I mean, that's just immediately a heal burn. That I don't know why Y4 is stood there.
But meanwhile, we've got a jungle skirmish in the meantime. Okay.
Okay, here we go. There's a stun coming out from Y4. Duan's here to help out XX, as both the AD carries going to be moving up as well. Mole dodging sideways from the Zenith Blade. There's a flash forward. CLX looking for a kill, and First Blood goes to AS6.
And Maple can't come in time, so big First Blood here for V5 as XX tries to play the aggressive path once again and vertical jungle against this bottom lane. So for V5, call it what you'd like, but that's the start that recovers the bot lane skirmish.
Rek'Sai will not be alpha dogged. XX just stares him down once again. This time, it goes awry, and it's Light that pays the price.
And it was the timing from XX where he walks into the blue buff and thinks that AS6 is not there yet, with a topside start that he'd still be pathing towards that blue camp. But he's already there. He was waiting in the brush. And that sets off the engage. Now for the Rek'Sai with First Blood and a full side to clear. There's going to be an early advantage where XX won't have the same start from game 1 where he was set up to succeed.
This is what we wanted though. V5 with an early lead for themselves. Let's see what they can do to force the issue we mentioned. They have advantages in early skirmishes.
It is still Pantheon.
Yeah, I mean, it is still a Pantheon that they're up against. I'm not saying that LNG can't skirmish either. But hey, especially when you get to level 6, Syndra and LeBlanc, you have a ton of ability to just delete someone from the game.
Plus Bard decision making where you can turn off a player or a couple of players or even a turret. It's going to be pretty crucial. XX does force the Rek'Sai off a scuttle, but look at the pathing here. AS6 moves straight to the top side. He doesn't have flash, which means that Pantheon has the stun, the ability to engage, and AS6 looking to contest.
Neither of them have recall just yet. I believe the Scuttle Crab went the way of AS6 there in the end. Flandre moving on down, but obviously not going to be able to finish off a kill onto that one. Flandre actually with a CS lead over the Aatrox right now.
I believe he's pushing in the wave though.
Yeah.
I need a bit of a camera up top. I don't have the best of eyes as...
Light is getting punished in this lane. Caliber will trade some of the damage back, but damage onto a support is not equal to damage onto an AD carry when it comes to lane pressure.
But remember, Light has Severum here, so the sustain that you get from Severum, especially since a lot of the AD carries are taking things like Overheal and a Bloodline, I should say, is actually the only relevant one in that conversation. So Light should be fine, but the poke coming through from Mole already and Y4 is pretty harsh.
That is unlucky from Mole that didn't stun. That would have been a kill if he had managed to get it. Duan now going to be stunned up against the wall. Mole's out of mana though, so I don't think they'll be able to finish anything off. But huge pressure, and this is one of the strengths of this Syndra in the bottom lane. You do have massive damage right from the get.
And they've got to step up to get this wave. A massive line of Sorcerer minions that Y4 and Mole can zone away, especially with CLX with a free lane. Maple is going straight to the bottom lane, but the pressure's already built up. The CS denied. And a big lead here for Mole against the Aphelios.
And it's all off the back of that level 2 play that came on through. Mole's been able to find himself a huge advantage. Light was the one to go down very early on into the game. And they're struggling to find a window back in.
And so now bottom side pressure comes through. AS6 gets a deep ward in and has control around the first Ocean Dragon.
Ocean Dragon.
We have a 5th element, and it's Prickly. But he's got a longsword here on the Rex side as well with the help of that first blood. So this start is so much better for V5. We're not throwing everything to the wayside in the first 5 to 10 minutes. And even CLX on this mid lane, LeBlanc, is looking for a pick.
He's going to miss the chains though, and now Maple can turn that trade right back around. Doesn't quite find the rocket. And XX is here to back up his mid laner as well. Both junglers level 4 right now. As you can see, AS6 pathing up towards the top side. Does mean if they wanted to, LNG could have priority on this trade.
And there's nothing apart from the camps he's going to get in the top side as well. He's not going to find his way into mid lane. Maple now has level 6, and pings are going down from LNG, who have the shove in bottom lane, who are going to have the shove through mid as well, who have full river priority with their vision. And with this scuttle that XX is getting, so Ocean Dragon, you'd think, would be started soon.
The alternative as well is obviously as a Pantheon, you can just try and power farm, get that level 6 as soon as physically possible, try and have an impact in one of these lanes, especially towards that bottom side. It would be really nice to give Light some help.
But there is the ability to outplay, I will just say, with the Cosmic Binding and Scatter the Weak.
Yeah.
If XX makes one mistake, he's going to get punished so much harder. But AS6 is setting up to get behind Flandre on Ornn.
Ornn's certainly a difficult one to find a kill onto, especially when he's got his flash available. World Ender comes out from Alias. Flandre going to be able to charge away, gets the flash as well. Infernal Chains won't grab him, and he's going to happily walk away.
Yep, so flash burned here for Flandre in the top lane. It's going to be significant, the potential to re-gank, but with Call of the Forge God available still makes it pretty hard. But you take that. For an Ornn that was keeping up its CS in lane, that adds a bit more pressure. And now for Alias, the matchup should go a little bit more his way, as it should always.
Yeah, it can get difficult later on once Ornn has a bunch of armor to work with, but it doesn't look like he's going for the Sunfire Cape first, going for the Catalyst there.
Yeah.
Perhaps we'll finish the Sunfire, but obviously, when you consider the mid-game fights, you're up against a Syndra and a LeBlanc. Maybe avoiding building for your lane matchup and just building towards this mid-game could be the play.
So much magic damage coming on the side, that bottom side of the map from V5 with the potential to burst. And also remember, Rumble's damage amplified here by the Majora's Mask that is going to be built first here by Flandre. We're getting vision of the bottom side because it seems like Mole and Y4 still playing aggressive here. And the jungle interaction from XX, he has level 6, he's got the Grand Starfall, I think it is now.
Yep.
The ability to dive onto Mole, who is without his Bard support.
Bard going to be able to zoom back into the lane, though. That's the beautiful thing about the Traveler's Call.
Get the T.
Grab the charms and you blast around the map.
It's a bait T.
Dwayne wanted it. It's just like the runes on Howling Abyss.
Oh, yeah?
You want to go for it, but you know that they're going to go in.
The runes. You mean the health packs?
Right. They are runes. Health runes.
Are they?
Yeah. Okay. That's what they're called.
Health packs is more like a Call of Duty thing, isn't it? No, wait.
Well,
I probably don't know my games. I've been playing League of Legends for too long. We have been in isolation for too long. What are other games?
Well, it's been a slow start to things here for both of these teams.
It could have been worse.
Could have been worse. V5, they're happy with this neutral.
We're still not at LCK level. 1 kill means no. I was still waiting for LNG to set up for this dragon, but as you said, it was a power farming coming through from XX to get level 6. Now that he has Scuttle Crab advantage. Hang on.
Ooh, flash away from the Tempered Fate. Teleport's coming through from Alias, though. We've got a play on our hands. LNG getting caught out as XX gets obliterated, and V5, they're the ones starting things off strong.
Doesn't even get to move. The flash away means that he's exposed to Mole, who cuts him off from entering the lane. And so V5 with the kill on the jungler. First dragon of the game goes their way. And that's something. That's a big strength here for V5 to play through.
I love how Flandre is just like, nah, not interested, not going to be a part of this one. I want level 9. I want some items for myself. He did go for the Farmy Cinder as well, so yeah, looks like he will finish off the Sunfire Cape first. Just wanted the Catalyst for sustain during the laning phase. And V5, they're looking to snowball this advantage as they move towards the Herald.
Really quick rotation they could do with the help of Bard. Straight up to the Herald, but this might be biting off more than they can chew. But Maple, good trade from CLX.
Flash forward for the stunt as well. There's a solar flare, but it's too late from Duan. Now the Star Ball comes in. XX going to be exhausted, but he will get one for himself. Jungler for mid laner. But with the jungler up, LNG have priority on this Herald.
Bigger trade here from LNG with AS6, 8 seconds so he comes back onto Summoner's Rift. Only Mole behind the pit means that LNG will start this off while Alias down the bottom side is looking for the trade with the help of Y4.
They're going to be looking to try and find some plates onto this tower, and this is what they're essentially trading. Obviously the Herald will get you 2 plates, pretty much guaranteed, but with the top tower already weak, could be the first time.
Only 3 plates there, that's right. So now we see the Herald moving to the top side here. Mole needs to be careful. He can't stick around. This is essentially going to be the trade. Equalizer available for Maple in the bottom lane if he wants to slow this down. Because of Bulwark bonus, though, this should be LNG's advantage. And yeah, no minion wave to play with, and Maple nearby.
Yeah, there's no way that Alias and Y4 can finish this tower off bot before the Herald will in the top lane. And I like waiting until that 3rd plate is taken first. Flandre does get rooted up. I don't think the damage is there to follow it up. Just has so much health to work with already.
All the Forge God not available, but in tries to come Duan. But if you look at gold across the map, there is still a trade here from V5. They're still keeping up in gold. They got 2 plates in the mid lane, and they've almost gotten all of the turret in the bottom side and zoned away Maple.
There is no answer here for Light. He's going to back away in the end. He could have taken this tower. He didn't have any vision, so it would have been dangerous. They didn't know how far up CLX had managed to get, but just a couple of autos would have done the trick.
But I still favor this if Alias gets this turret. However, XX, even without ulti, he's nearby. And Maple to stop the wave for now, so he won't get it in the end.
That's the power of that 5th plate. It is just so damn hard to get through.
True.
And Alias there on the Aatrox. Going to be unfortunately unable to. He has closed the CS gap that Flandre had from the early plays that he essentially just missed.
I just love talking about an Aatrox with a CS discrepancy against an Ornn. Yeah. Not often we talk about Ornn having priority in the matchup, but yeah, partly due to that early game. Does have the Sunfire Cape now though, Munchables, so we'll see an early upgrade coming soon. Remember, we're still in 10.4, so it's level 12 that he'll get that upgrade, not 13.
And isn't it weird seeing the AD carry in inverted commas moving up to the mid lane, and then it's Syndra, so it feels like it should have been in the mid lane the whole time. But we're going to see Mole moving down towards we're going to see CLX moving down towards the bottom side of the map. He's going to be laning against Maple. We're going to have our top laners top still, and we're going to have Mole versus Maple. The original. No, sorry, we're going to have Light versus Mole. I'm confusing myself now.
Are you okay, sir? No, it's all right. It's super hard. I mean, especially with all the change-ups, and we didn't change it on the leaderboard down there, so that must be super frustrating for you.
That
hurts me.
That's what's doing
it. I got play-by-play brain for that one. That really hurts. But meanwhile, Alias with the ult.
He's looking for Flandre. Flandre flashing that one. I guess he must have used his Bellows Breath on the minion wave, so wouldn't have been able to dodge the CC, deciding that's a dangerous situation, even with the Sunfire Cape.
But with flash away from Flandre, even though he has teleport, 50 seconds until this dragon, a summoner to note, but his ultimate is going to be key. So let's see if it affects him as LNG try and set up around this objective to get Vision ready for the fight in 40 seconds.
Well, plates overall going even here. Maple taking a chunk of damage from the likes of CLX. Now we're past 14 minutes. 1 or 2 autos will finish that tower off. We've got 30 seconds until the next Drake. Vision control completely in favor of V5, but Y4. This is the 2nd game in a row now where he steps up and gets caught for it. Light, though, is going to be traded. We take those. That's going to be a support for an AD carry, and now Duan suddenly completely alone. Flandre going to be trying to help out his support. Flash away from Duan, but AS6 finishes off the kill, and now Flandre finds himself the 1 out of allies right here. He's going to drop, and Mole gets one. 6-2 for V5.
The ultimate debate from Y4. He pulls in everyone from LNG to the point where after they've committed everything in the kitchen sink, V5 turn it around. They net the mountain because of it. And that turned into a beautiful play. You'll see here, the Zenith Blade, the Solar Flare, you have everything. And with an exhaust, you don't get the damage. Plus the Tempered Fate. They turn to the biggest damage source of LNG in Light. And then where do you go from here? There's no further damage. Flandre's on an island, while AS6 with his early advantage is able to bully out anyone who tries to escape. And Maple just has to watch as Flandre dies at the end of the trade.
And you can see what happens to Light there during that fight is going to consistently happen throughout this game. You've got AS6 on the wreck site. It's essentially an assassin during the team fights. Then you've got a LeBlanc and a Syndra that all want to do the same thing. In the meantime, Alias and Y4 can run distraction in the rest of the team fight. So Light is actually going to have a really hard time during these fights because there's not really anyone else on his team that wants to stay at the back. They all want to dive in.
And doesn't have his completed item in comparison to his lane opponent in Mole, who has the Luden's Echo. CLX with one as well, so these big one-item mages are now bursting quicker, now have more damage to start these fights. And V5, with the strongest lead we've seen in this series, still have themselves a Rift Herald coming up shortly.
Now, I don't have the accurate stats here on this one, but this could be the biggest lead V5 have had in the LPL this season so far. Alias,
that's a flash
away. That gets him away from Flandre. He's going to be happy with that one. That's a Grand Starfall and an Ornhorn.
When you have 20 seconds until Rift Herald spawns, that Starfall means that XX has to walk up, but doesn't have the full-on engage that we expect out of the Pantheon.
And on top of that, when you look at the Summoner spells, here we go, Equalizer in the mid lane, Tempered Fate, though. I'm not sure if that was good or not. Duan survives, Mole survives. Light died?
Yeah, Light died on the back end. Mole uses the ulti, and the Tempered Fate just stops all this aggression. Both Maple and Duan's ult were really suboptimal. And Flandre says, guys, come on. I just got the flash out of the Aatrox. What's going on? He's going to take the turret, and that's only going to be the trade here for LNG for the Rift Herald that's being soloed, but mid.
Oh, Duan's so low. Can't quite finish the kill off. Infernal Chains onto XX.
Look at CLX, though.
He's going to be able to keep himself alive for a moment, but not long enough. CLX on the flank. He's going to force Maple away. This should finish off the mid tower, especially with a Herald here. They could look for two.
LNG, I'm not sure how to coin it here, but one by one, the ants go marching in. There ain't no hurrah after that. V5 with the Herald have 5 members mid and are looking for this shove.
This is what we've wanted to see from V5 the entire season so far. Maybe they finally found the lanes that they each need to play. Y4 was the support after all. You can see him in the bottom right of your corner of your screen. Sorry, if I can talk. He's got his pistol out, and he's not taking no prisoners.
Shooting you with the Bard gun. And this game, it's hurt. Tempered Fates have been really good from Y4.
Yeah.
And the amount of energy LNG have put into him has all been worth it here for V5. I want to grab your attention because at this point in the game, when we just saw the Herald, when we saw the shove mid, almost taking the inner turret, V5 are up so much gold. And for this team, when they hit that 2-item with the Oblivion Orb already in hand, people like Light, Maple, they are going to die instantly.
Just look at CLX and Mole. They literally have the
building
same
off each other,
items. Yeah. The only difference being that Dark Seal in the pocket of Mole. We have rearranged the scoreboard, though.
Yeah, for 15 minutes
so
in.
It's a little bit
good.
less confusing for me, at least. But wow, what a performance now from V5. Now, I did talk about it right at the start. They have had leads before. They've made it to the mid-game in the lead before. The biggest issue then was decision-making. They started to fall apart. That's where we need to see this as a real test for V5. Have they improved from the last time they managed to get ahead? Can they hold on to this lead?
And decision-making around the objectives specifically. A lot of teams struggle as to when to take the fight. 30 seconds until Cloud. V5 positioning aggressively in this enemy jungle, looking for that pick, that sets them up for that free objective.
Tempered Fate going to find Maple. The rest of V5 not really finding a way into the fight, though. I can't really commit. I mean, Flandre's just a brick wall
But
right now.
CLX hasn't been spotted here. This is key because LNG think they're safe to walk into River. If CLX gets a good flank...
He doesn't have vision into that brush right now, though. That's the one side. He hasn't been spotted, but he hasn't spotted them. Flandre stepping forward pretty aggressively. Bellow's Breath going to keep him out of the CC. It's just going to be a third of his health gone. Now the engage going to be going on in. That's going to be one dead Rex side. Duan on the front line. Maple's actually getting low as Mole's looking for the fight there. Duan flashes away, but Ignite will finish him off. And now onto the back line is CLX still surviving. XX has to flash, but he goes down to Alias. And this could be a double as well. Flandre flashes over the wall. Mole is there, though. And he's going to be dropped by the Syndra. V5 take yet another fight.
Alias does it again. This game, though, he's got a team to back him up. And V5 now going to be one soul away from that Cloud Rift. And securing that Cloud Soul on this team is going to be massive. A team fight win for V5. You don't say that much, but you got to take it.
You don't get to say it very often, but look at who died as well. This wasn't even them all jumping onto Light. This is showing that the composition can win team fights in more than one way. It's not just diving the Aphelios. They can win front to back.
That looked okay for LNG, though. We're going to get a replay in a second. I bet you. I bet you 1,000,000 krona. There we go. All right.
I'm not taking that bet.
So I talked at the start about CLX's positioning, and while we saw a really good equalizer from Maple, the damage still comes out from Mole. He has to barrier, and then Mole has a bit more access in this fight while Alias is doing his own thing. And then from there, the front to back with Y4 disrupting is just so nice to see. And like I said before, Mole gets free time in the sun with his blue buff available.
And it's interesting how, if you watch Light during that replay, he doesn't really get to do anything. He misses his ultimate.
Yep.
And he's so invisible that Alias has an opportunity to jump on him. He actually chooses to go for Flandre instead. Stays grouped with the team, and he's like, do you know what? This Aphelios isn't worth anything right now. Forget him. I want to win this fight. They grab themselves a third Drake off the back of it. They're on soul point.
Decision-making key. V5 actually made a really nice call there. And Light is not worth taking because Light is so far behind of the curb. Almost second item here for Mole, while sitting on the pickaxe here for Light. He picked up the Essence Reaver moments before that fight. And with Light in an uncomfortable position, needing so much more time on Summoner's Rift to get those core items, V5 know this is their opportunity to strike. They know the power spikes of LeBlanc and the Syndra are going to dictate the rest of this game if they have their way with it.
And you know, I feel like I have to apologize to V5 here. I was kind of laughing at the draft when they lock in the Bard. They've got the Syndra and the LeBlanc. It was like, okay, what on earth is going on here? Everyone's swapping roles. It's working, though. They are making this work. And once again, it's another example. You cannot ever count teams out in the LPL. There are always ways to find wins.
Always good to see, though, your own flavor of draft. V5 are a team that keep changing up how they pick and keep changing up how they play. Last year, you'll all remember, Mole spent a lot of time in the top lane, even picked Zoe top, by the way. And Alias/Windy would go between Yasuo mid, Nico mid, simply to put their opponents off guard and get more favorable matchups. Now, this time around, LNG knew that Mole was going in the bottom lane. They knew that Y4 was most likely going to support. And Y4 so far, I mean, 80 carry or not, this guy's been really stepping up the pace on his Bard pick.
Certainly has. Nice flash there from Maple. Keeps himself safe from the Tempered Fate. But I really like the pressure the V5 are putting on. CLX going to get the root onto Flandre, keeps himself alive in the top lane as well. Won't have teleport. Dragon's up in 2 minutes.
But does no damage to Flandre. I mean, at this point, CLX in fights never going to be targeting the Ornn. And you can see just how tanky he is with his 2 upgraded items now. Level 14 on Flandre means he has an upgradable item ready for the rest of LNG, but there are no Ornn items apart from that Black Cleaver on XX. They've yet to come into contact with each other, so see if he gives him the kiss of Ornn's life.
Interesting that we're seeing the double Morello here as well. The kiss of Ornn's life. You're looking at me real weird right now.
Just saying. Now, you wanted to start some conversations with double Morellos.
I just wanted to bring up double Morellos, a lot of healing reduction for not a lot of healing on the side of LNG.
Yep.
In fact,
they're copying each other. One of them did it, and it's probably Mole who started it.
Not to be outdone.
And CLX is like, I can do that too. So the third item, we're going to see a Void Staff, all right? And they're both going to build it. They're going to mirror each other this whole game.
I could believe it. That's a lot of Magic Pen. It's going to be very difficult, even for Flandre, to withstand that kind of pressure.
Hey.
Let's take a look at the gold differences. There's about 1,000 in the AD carry position, about 1,000 mid, about 1,000 in jungle, about 1,000 top.
Yeah, for an Aatrox,
Just under.
That was down in CS for a very long time. We got to the 15 to 25 minute mark, but I'll hold that. In they come.
Here comes XX. They want to make a play onto Alias. What can be done by the rest of V5 in the meantime? As Alias 1 versus 3. He's looking for XX. There's a flash out of the Pantheon. Maple's the next target. Alias, everything on cooldown though, and there goes the equalizer. Felt like Maple didn't want to use that. Redemption keeps Alias alive. There's a stopwatch as well. And suddenly, he's still going. Alias has survived. And here comes Y4 to hold them off. Maple goes for the 1v1 and will finish off the Aatrox as Y4 in comes CLX. Where was this V5 the rest of the season?
Good rotation to make him go splat. Alias almost outplays the 1v3 as well. And technically he does. He sends them back down to their base. But CLX is still hunting for Maple.
CLX on the hunt right here. Maple trying to find his way to execute. Oh, he's going to look for a recall. He's been spotted by the tower, though. I don't think he realized. You're not going to be able to escape from a LeBlanc realistically. That's another one for CLX. And this will be the Dragon Soul. XX still down. No ultimate available.
Just through the chaos, V5 are going to get the soul here. After LNG tried to get a pick and it went horribly wrong, this is the game for V5. They're on the precipice of getting their first LPL game win. Everything's lining up. Everything.
Man, I wish I was in the locker room in between games here. I want to hear what the pep talk was for V5.
Didn't know they went into locker rooms.
Well, I don't know. Probably not, but something was said to this team in between these games because this is a totally different squad to what we saw in Game 1.
I think you sit back and you go, you know what? Mole, CLX, you do what you want. You draft how you want. No coaching staff involved. And now Mole has the Magi Soul Seal. The 10 stacks from the Dark Seal follow over. And with Cloud Soul as well, let's just take a moment to look at LeBlanc, Rek'Sai, Aatrox. Even Mole, when he pops his ult, when he comes out of that animation, he gets the full 4 or 6 seconds, I can't remember, of that movement speed towards LNG. So the most dangerous point in the game feels like it's here for V5. And they're using it around the Baron buff. They've got full control. They're setting up to just get the pick, not necessarily the Baron.
A lot of power for V5. And also, XX currently on the bottom side of the map right now. He's looking for Alias, I guess, but he might have to sacrifice a tier 2 to find that pick.
Look at where XX is. I mean, he has the ultimate, but he's going to have to find a flank here. But for LNG, if I was them right now, I'd say, you know what? If we slow this game down, maybe Light has a chance with the Ornn frontline. Maybe Light can get his third item. He's got the Molten Edge now, upgraded by the Ornn. So there is a bit more power on the side of LNG, but you're not looking at their power right now. You don't care. Because you look at LNG, V5s, and you're like, oh my god, please stop.
Duan literally recalling the face of the enemy. Despite the scoreline, despite how this game is going, he's still feeling confident. Flandre looking for the 1 versus 1 as XX will ult into the fight. Alias once again finds himself in an unfavorable matchup. Or is it? Because Alias is a monster. Light's arriving too. XX just about gets the kill.
Thank God Light was there, but V5 meanwhile are starting the Baron. They don't have the quickest Baron team though. So for V5, this isn't going to net a thing.
Surely you forced the objective. This was not the time to back away. They're at least going to find a kill onto Maple here. I feel like they could have just took the Baron.
Potentially.
XX was recalling.
Lunchables, they don't have the quickest Baron. And XX still alive, but you're right, he was recalling. So at that point for LNG, the pick is absolutely free. Almost turns back around, but That's why you say this game for Maple, thank God he's got a Morello's against this Aatrox.
I mean, at least they trade, right? Maple used his summoners as well during that, so I think still net positive for V5. Alias has his TP available light. Narrowly avoiding the Tempered Fate there. Nice little sidestep. And now rinse repeat for the side of V5. With Alias having his TP, looks like he's just going to go match Flandre in this bottom side.
Light's finally got MR though. He's got a Hex Drinker in his inventory. That's going to do a lot against V5's magic damage. To a degree, I should say, not a lot. Because he's still going to get bursted down against a Rabadon's Death Cap from CLX. They're not copying each other anymore. Look at the individuality out of our mages on V5.
A little bit of style coming out here, but on the scoreline, it's very much about CLX here. When you look at the difference in the assists, 5-0 and 8 here for CLX. Almost 100% kill participation. He's only missed 2 of the plays. He's been the centerpiece for all of this when it comes to V5. Maybe this was the... We've been talking so much about Mole, how well Mole's been playing, but CLX on this LeBlanc, maybe we found our new mid laner.
Well, he is meant to be a mid/top. I mean, he's a sub for 2 different roles. And CLX coming through when V5 have lost Max and they've lost Xiao Han. It was like, okay, cool. Who is going where? And who's going to facilitate these positions? Well, CLX has been playing support in this roster over Max. But going back to his roots, what he's known for is a solo laner. It's a good look that he's still performing well after having to adapt to a new position.
I find it hilarious that Y4 has been put in the support position as well. XX caught out here. Infernal Chains will pull him back in. Let's put a CC onto Alias, but double Tempered Fate. Flandre gets a knock up onto Mole. Nice Sonias from him to keep himself alive. Flandre is so damn tanky on the front line. AS6 survives with the Caretaker Shrine. Both teams disengage for now.
Flandre has Warmogs, by the way, so he doesn't die. They're doing it again.
The Stone Plate keeps him tanky, but not tanky enough. Maple now trying to run away as Light is going to be exhausted. Knock up flashed away from Alias now is going to be re-engaged on. Y4 gets the Magical Journey. 1 kill for nothing. Flandre goes down.
You see the difference now that Light has his items, now that he has the Molten Edge. There is damage behind this Aphelios, and I guess I was wrong, Munchables. Flandre does die with Flash Up as well, by the way. So the trade comes through, but LNG have some more gold in their back pocket. They've opened up mid, and they're starting to hit some of these key windows themselves.
Elder Dragon is going to spawn in 20 seconds time. Flandre currently dead, but he will have that teleport available. The question will be, where can he teleport to? There is a ward currently in Pixel Brush. We need to see vision cleared.
And importantly, he has the Dead Man's Plate as well. 4 items strong on the Ornn in the top lane. And as we saw in that last fight, for LNG, they are starting to do more of this damage. The mid lane mages who are so damn fed are not as relevant as they were 10 minutes ago. And LNG know that. They're positioning towards Elder. Baron is also alive there as well. So the potential for LNG, who do this objective quickly to make a trade, is still there so that they can delay the game.
Vision control in favor of Victory 5. Map control in favor of Victory 5. Tempered Fate goes wide.
Now we're just back to square one. Y4 without his key ultimate. And move that gold graph. I want to see what's on LNG's side. I can't see a bloody thing. But Flandre, I mean, 4 members on him. And it's like, okay, I'll take that. He has Warmogs. He heals that up immediately.
And you don't have an AD carry, so trying to get through Flandre's health bar quickly is going to be a task here. Dwan rooted up. Flandre using his ultimate just onto AS6 here.
Wow, but damage.
Look at the damage out of Flandre.
Big boy.
It's huge, but there's the equalizer as well. AS6 just trying to survive, gets the redemption and walks away. Flandre so low.
He's dead.
And Alias is going to do a lot of work. CLX gets the kill as the rest of the team collapsed on. And it's Victory 5 going huge. They grab another kill for Alias. They walk over towards XX. They want to finish this one off in style. The full ace comes through, and it's a triple for the Aatrox.
And this might be the game for V5. Long death timers here on LNG. 30 seconds until Dwan's up and the rest of the crew. V5 are channeling down mid to break the curse of their 2020 split.
They don't even have minions right here, but the The Swarm arrives finally. They've still got 20 seconds. This is going to be the first win. The victory in Victory 5 will finally come on through. You're witnessing history, ladies and gentlemen. Victory 5 take the second game.